Hello and welcome to the Young Orthopod, and today we will learn about the various types of fractures and their mechanism. A fracture is defined as break in the continuity of the bone. It can be classified on the basis of pattern of fracture, etiology, the relationship of the fracture with external environment, and the displacement of the fracture fragments. The fracture pattern describes the type of fracture line. In a transverse fracture, the fracture line is almost perpendicular to the long axis of the bone. Such a fracture is caused by a bending force resulting from the direct blow by a moving object or by the bone striking a resistant object. As the name suggests, in an oblique fracture, the fracture line is oblique and makes an acute angle with the long axis of the bone. Such a fracture is caused by a bending force, which in addition has a component along the long axis of the bone. In a spiral fracture, the fracture line runs spirally in more than one plane. Such a fracture is caused by an indirect rotational or twisting force. With increasing energy transfer, the spiral fractures may have butterfly fragments. A comminuted fracture is a fracture with multiple fragments. It is seen in high-energy injuries and also in cases where the crushing force acts along the long axis of the bone. In a segmental fracture, there are two fractures in one bone, but at different levels, leading to a free segment in between. An impacted fracture is caused when the bone fails in compression. For example, a depressed fracture of the calcaneus after a fall from a height, or a wedge compression fracture of the spine. These also includes valgus impacted fractures of the femoral neck. So the different fracture patterns include transverse fractures, oblique fractures, spiral fractures, comminuted fractures, segmental fractures, and impacted fractures. One more fracture type sometimes included here is the avulsion fracture. These fractures are caused by traction from a ligament, tendon, or a capsular insertion. They can result from explosive muscular contraction. For example, an anterior-inferior iliac spine avulsion caused by the rectus femoris whilst kicking. These may be also caused by a violent joint movement. For example, a violent ankle inversion can lead to avulsion of the base of fifth metatarsal at the peroneus brevis insertion. Traumatic fracture is a fracture of a bone following a direct or indirect violence. A normal healthy bone breaks only when it is subjected to excessive force. Hence, these fractures are caused by the action of an abnormal excessive force on a normal healthy bone. The examples of traumatic fractures include fractures caused by a fall, road traffic accident, fight, or an assault. A fracture in an abnormal or diseased bone is referred to as pathological fracture. A pathological fracture results from action of a normal force on an abnormal weak bone. The pathology may be localized to one part of the bone, example a tumor deposit, or generalized, for example osteoporosis and osteomalacia. To learn about the details of the pathological fracture, please visit our dedicated video on the pathological fractures. You can find the link in description of this video. A stress or fatigue fracture results from the cyclical application of the normal forces in excessive frequency to the normal bone of a healthy patient, leading to break in the bony trabeculae. The classic examples include the second metatarsal fractures of army recruits, popularly known as the March fracture, and the fracture of navicular bone in athletes. Stress fractures are typically seen in military personnel, athletes, or dancers when the intensity of the exercise is significantly increased from the baseline. The fractures are often classified on the basis of position of the distal fracture fragment, namely the undisplaced, minimally displaced, and the displaced fractures. An undisplaced fracture is a fracture that is complete but has not moved from its anatomical position. Similarly, a fracture that is very nearly anatomical is said to be minimally displaced. When the distal fragment is significantly displaced from its anatomical position, then it is called a displaced fracture. A displaced fracture is described as the displacement of the distal fragment in relation to the proximal fragment. The fracture displacement is described in terms of change in length, angulation, rotation, and translation. Let's see how a displaced fracture causes change in the limb length. Apposition is the amount of end-to-end contact of the fracture fragments. Bayonet apposition means overlap of the fracture fragments in the longitudinal axis. Here the bone ends have no contact and have slipped past each other. The fracture is called off-ended. This results in shortening of the limb length. Bayonet apposition gets its name from the bayonet rifle. Excessive traction may result in the opposite deformity, leading to distraction. Angulation is described by the reference to the apex of the fracture. In the coronal plane, a fracture with displacement of the distal fragments towards the midline, with its apex pointing laterally, is said to be in varus. A fracture with its displacement of the distal fragment away from the midline, with the apex pointing towards the midline, is said to be in valgus. In the sagittal plane, a fracture with its apex pointing posteriorly is said to have posterior angulation or to lie in extension. Finally, where the apex points anteriorly, the fracture has anterior angulation or lies in flexion. A fracture may be rotated internally or externally. This is judged by the appearance of the two bone ends and the position of the distal part of the limb clinically. Translation occurs when the fracture surfaces have shifted sideways relative to each other. Depending on the position of the distal fragment, a fracture may be translated medially, laterally, anteriorly or posteriorly, or even a combination of these. On the basis of relationship with the external environment, fractures can be classified as either closed or open. Closed fracture is a fracture not communicating with the external environment, that is, the overlying skin and soft tissues are intact. Whereas a fracture with break in the overlying skin and the soft tissues, leading to the fracture communicating with the external environment, is called an open fracture. On the basis of complexity of the treatment, the fractures can be classified as either simple, complex, or complicated. A simple fracture is a fracture which is relatively easy to treat. For example, a closed transverse fracture of the tibia. A fracture in multiple pieces, which is relatively difficult to treat, is called complex fracture. Example, a comminuted intra-articular fracture of the proximal tibia. A fracture is termed as complicated if it is associated with damage to an adjacent neurovascular structures and often requires emergency treatment. On the basis of quantum of force causing the fractures can be classified into high and low velocity injuries. A high velocity injury is caused by severe trauma force as in a road traffic accident. These fractures are associated with severe soft tissue injury with extensive devascularization of the fracture ends. These are usually more complex fractures and difficult to treat. Such fractures are often unstable and slow to heal. The low velocity injuries are caused by mild trauma force as in a fall. There is little associated soft tissue injury. So this was all about types of fracture and their mechanisms. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments below. For more interesting content in orthopedics, please subscribe to the Young Orthopod and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We will be back with another topic in orthopedics. See you soon.